Remember, college football is an emotional sport. Go ahead, let it out. The 3 emotions this week that we have: anticipation. That's our first one. It's a big one because here we are, we're like beyond 8 weeks into the season, right? Just life is sliding away from you. And you're looking up and you're going, there are things I don't know yet and that I need to figure out, and that the schedule says are going to figure things out for me. And that's great, but you have to wait for it. Now, before you can get to it, I know that Miami fans will be in my ear, all 75 of you. You're all very excited, and that's good. You got a really good team. You're probably going to say one of 2 things. One, something I can't repeat on a family video, and that's fine. You're Miami fans. I expect that, and I respect that as part of your personal brand. And 2, I also know that you're going to be saying, hey, when are we going to get the credit we're due? You got 2 games left to do that, really. You got to beat Virginia Tech, okay? Who I know, they really haven't played anybody you haven't. The resume's not a whole lot better. I'd argue it's like marginally better than yours at this point, but that doesn't really matter. You know, you beat them in Miami, you flatten them. Guess what? That's done. The next one's a lot harder, and that's Notre Dame, because Notre Dame, they like to keep the ball on the field. They run the daylights out of the ball. It's very difficult to move them in one direction or another, and they throw a lot of different things at you with 2 guys out of the backfield that you're going to have to spend an inordinate amount of time chasing around. But if you can do that, hey, guess what? You're officially excellent, Miami. And you know what? You don't need my validation for that. Just take it in your heart, okay? Love yourself first, and then look to the football schedule to validate that. Just a mental health tip from me. I think the second emotion you need to have is this. You need to have an appreciation. We don't have that much of this left. You got like maybe a month and change, right? If you count the championship games. And what you're gonna have to do in order to appreciate that is, you gotta look at the little things, right? You gotta look at the Eric Dungies of the world at Syracuse, who they're just out there like kicking dudes in the face. I mean, like literally kicking dudes in the face. Sorry, Miami fans, you won. It's cool. You just had to take a kick in the face, right? That's football. It's contact sport. In addition to that, you have to appreciate players like your Damien Harris's. I know, wow, you picked an Alabama running back, but somehow we're not talking enough about the fact that he's putting up astronomical numbers. I think you ascribe that to the machine. He has a name. This machine is made of parts. Those parts are players. Those players are people. Damien Harris has had an outstanding year, all right? So in case you don't think I ever say anything nice about Alabama, hey, I'm going to say 2 nice things about Alabama, okay? 1, Mobile, deeply underrated city. I'll tell anyone that, all right? If you remember the night that you spent there, it was probably a good one. And if you don't, it was probably a better one. And 2, Damien Harris, man. Watch him run. Violent, quick. It's outstanding. Also, I think you have to appreciate things like coaches and players who've really tried, and sure, they might not be undefeated. They might have 2 or 3 losses, but they're vastly improved. They're way better watches than they were, okay? Purdue, yeah, you're taking it on the chin after a little sort of bump in optimism and then falling down to reality. But the reality is that that's still an improved Purdue reality. That's still an improved Purdue football team. Cal, yeah, Cal, you suffered a heartbreaking loss last week in overtime, but you went for 2. Always go for 2 to end it in overtime. 1, this is a violent sport. You need to reduce the number of injuries. And number of injuries caused by number of impacts, you take out that 3rd, 4th, and 5th overtime where everybody's tired and you're smoked for the next week anyway. I love it. Also, just bravado. Just I'm a big fan of football bravado in general. Should always go for it in any situation. That's why I'm not employed as a coach, by the way. That and like having never coached football before and being really like blocking schemes. Still hard to understand after all these years. All I know is the big guy hits the other big guy. And then my last thing is impatience. I don't even have any advice for impatience. Impatience is just something you live with. It's just an itch in the soul. It's just something you gotta sit with as you wait to figure out all of the answers to the questions you might have about, I don't know, football, life, team. For instance, Michigan. Michigan fans, I don't really know what to tell you other than you're just gonna have to sit with this because you weren't supposed to be good till next year anyway. You get a little extra candy and all of a sudden it's just salads from here on out. And by salads, I mean minimal calories. And by minimal calories, I mean minimal points because that's what you're gonna have to survive on, all right? You spent the budget at the 1st of the month, okay? It's strictly ramen. It's like ramen and eggs if you're lucky. For the next week or so, because that offense, it's gonna have to mature, and having to mature is a fancy way of saying you're gonna be changing some diapers. There's gonna be some messes, and at the end, you'll get like a beautiful full-grown football team. I promise. Like that's gonna happen. Jim Harbaugh's not bad at this. The University of Michigan hasn't lost the ability to recruit. Everything's still pretty. Your leaves still change into like 900 different beautiful variations. Zingerman's is still overrated. Did I say that out loud? I'm gonna say it again. Zingerman's is overrated. It's just a deli. All you do is serve meat and sandwiches. I'm not going to get that excited about it. Also, impatience. I don't know. Hey, you might want to ask somebody for advice on that, like a Georgia fan who's been waiting since, I don't know, 1980 for a dominant team, for a genuinely dominant football team. Been waiting since 1980, since before like cell phones were the size of a 2-liter of your favorite beverage. That's how long Georgia fans have been waiting, okay? So if they're impatient, I understand. But you're going to beat Florida this week, so 1, congrats. 2, I don't know, you might have a shot at beating Alabama. Texas A&M played them close. If you can just play some decent defense, I don't think they're invincible. No team's invincible. Some teams are huge, capable of immense malice, and will injure you on nearly every single play at the line of scrimmage. That'd be Alabama. But who knows, you might be that, Georgia. And you know the answer to that? It won't come for another month or so. So I suggest that you just learn to sit with your impatience, right? Just hold it in. Like all feelings, just confine it to a small space in your heart until it explodes and kills you. I don't think that's healthy. This is not actual, don't include that. It's just not actual medical advice, because I'm not a doctor or a therapist, right? Don't tell anyone that though, because I do charge for it. So again, the emotions we have here, we got some anticipation. You're not gonna find some stuff out for a while, okay? But I promise it's coming. You've got appreciation, because there's not that much left of this, okay? Enjoy these rosebuds while ye may. And then impatient. You're just gonna have to sit with it, because it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting there, being irritating, not doing a thing, kind of like Michigan's offense.